Thanks a great deal for joining me on today's edition of the program, Television Nigerian Business Time. That's TVN Business Time. On this program, we will talk about everything area elsewhere on the foreign scene, the details of equities trading on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and what, of course, transpired in the US and Asian market as at close of business yesterday, as well as the outlook. Well, on the show, we'll also take a look at the exchange rate of the Naira as it stands with some major currencies across the world. My name is Nten Ekpang. Welcome to the program. Let's go straight to the headlines for today. PIB delay as petroleum industry bill delay threatens $8.4 billion annual oil investment. Bank of Industry gets fresh 305 billion naira to finance industrialists. On the foreign scene, U.S. Federal Reserve keeps interest rates unchanged at 1.5 to 1.7 range. And Xiaomi launches $10 billion Hong Kong stock market listing. Those are the headlines. Now let's go to the details. PIB threatens $8.4 billion annual investments. And according to that report, the delay in passage of the petroleum industry bill is threatening an average capital expenditure of $8.4 billion per year, expected to be spent on 249 oil and gas fields in Nigeria between 2018 and 2020. Now, capex into Nigeria's oil and gas project will add up to $25.3 billion over the 3-year period in upstream capex by 2020. Global Data, a leading data and analytics company, said in a new report. It said all power project will be responsible for over 28% of the $25.3 billion of upstream capex in Nigeria, or at least $7.2 billion by 2020. The shallow water projects are expected to account for 26% of upstream capex with $6.7 billion by 2020, while deep water and onshore projects will necessitate $6 billion and $5.5 billion respectively in capex over the period. Global Data expects that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation will lead Nigeria in capex, investing $5.3 billion in the country's upstream project by 2020. Royal Dutch Shell plc and Italian oil majors Eni will follow with $4.7 billion and $2.8 billion respectively. And now moving on to our next story. Bank of Industry gets fresh 305 billion naira to finance industrialists. And according to that report, a total of $1 billion, that's about 305 billion naira, has been raised by the Bank of Industry to finance the industrial sector of the economy in the 2018 fiscal period. To be deployed in key sectors of the economy such as information technology, manufacturing, and micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises, among others. Managing Director BOI Olukayode Peter confirmed the amount during an interview with correspondents in Abuja on the sidelines of the bank's annual general meeting. He said the bank naira, adding that this was why it decided to raise the sum of to finance the sector of the BOI to raise $500 million was very successful as the issuance program was oversubscribed to the tune of 200. And OK's fresh 80 approves 18.87 billion naira for that the Federal Executive Council on Wednesday, that's yesterday, approved additional 80 billion naira for the rehabilitation from shutdown. Welcome back. We're sorry for that breaking in transmission. It was due to a technical issue now that's been restored. And we move on now. The story we were bringing you before that break says that federal government has okayed an additional 80 billion naira for Lagos Ibadan Road and has approved 18.87 billion naira for third mainland bridge repair. And according to that story, the Federal Executive Council on Wednesday, that's yesterday, approved an additional 80 billion naira for the rehabilitation of Section 2 of Lagos Ibadan Expressway from Shagamu to Ibadan. Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, disclosed this to State House correspondents at the end of the Council's marathon meeting presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Fashola said the additional cost will cater for changes that were not captured during the project's conceptualization. An initial 96.3 billion was approved for the section. The latest approval brings the cost to 176.5 billion naira. The minister also stated that FEC approved 18.87 billion for the rehabilitation and repair of the third mainland bridge in Lagos State. He said the contract for the repair was awarded to Borini Prono, one of the original builders of the bridge. Fashola gave the completion period of the project as 27 months. And on the final story on the local business, in Forte Oil to sell Nigerian assets and exit Ghana. Well, Forte Oil has said it plans to sell its upstream services and power business in Nigeria and divest from Ghana to focus on its core fuel distribution operations at home, according to a report by Reuters on Wednesday. The move comes as a surprise about turn for a company whose chief executive, Akin Femiwa, told investors in Lagos in August that he wanted to aggressively pursue mergers and acquisitions along the energy value chain and acquire marginal oil fields to boost its upstream business. The company, majority owned by billionaire Femi Otedola, has also been in talks with a major refinery to form a strategic partnership for local refining of petroleum products. Forte Oil's share price plunged by 49% last year after the company struggled to get hard currency to import products. It now has a total market value of 57.3 billion, but gave no indication on Wednesday of how much the businesses for sale might fetch. It said interest costs attributable to the businesses to be sold stood at about 2.2 billion naira as of December. It now plans to sell shareholder approvals for the sale on May 23 and appoint advisors, it said in a notice to investors. And those are the stories on the local business scene. Before we bring you international business news, we'll take a short break. And when we come back, we'll bring you the stories. This is TVN Business Time. Don't go away. Welcome back to TVN Business Time with me, Nten Ekman. Before that break, it was the local business stories. Let's look at what the international scene has for us. And top on the list for today, U.S. Federal Reserve keeps interest rates unchanged at 1.5 to 1.7 range. And according to that story, the United States benchmark interest rate will remain at a range of 1.5 to 1.7%. The U.S. Federal Reserve's policy setting Federal Open Market Committee said in a statement on Wednesday. The committee aims to reach maximum employment and price stability and predicts that the labor market will continue to be strong, the statement added. When it comes to possible changes in the future, the committee will examine economic conditions in the United States and review whether they fit the goal of inflation at the rate of 2% and maximum employment. In 2017, the Federal Reserve raised the benchmark federal funds interest rate 3 times to its present 1.25 to 1.5% range. The interest rate increased in March was the first major policy move that the Federal Reserve undertook since its new chair, Jerome Powell, succeeded Janet Yellen. And to our next story now, Xiaomi launches 10 billion Hong Kong stock market listing. And according to the report, Chinese smartphone maker Xiaomi has filed to list on Hong Kong stock market in a move that is expected to raise up to $10 billion. That's about 7.5 billion pounds. The stock market flotation will be the world's biggest debut in 2018 and the largest since fellow China tech giant Alibaba raised 25 billion in 2014. Xiaomi has bounced back after admitting last year it had grown too quickly. As well as China, it is a major player in India, where it rivals Samsung to be the most popular handset maker. Last year, the Xiaomi moved into the Spain market, and reports suggest it is also looking to get into the US to take on Apple. And moving on to our next story on the international business scene, Australia's Commonwealth Bank lost data of 20 million accounts. And that report has it that Australia's Commonwealth Bank has admitted losing the bank records of almost 20 million people. Names, addresses, account numbers, and statements were stored on 2 magnetic tapes which were meant to be destroyed by a subcontractor in 2016. But despite not receiving evidence, the tapes had actually been destroyed. The bank did not tell customers there was a potential problem. The breach is the latest scandal involving Australia's largest lender. In a filing to the Australian Stock Exchange, the bank said it could not confirm that the tapes containing 15 years of data had been destroyed securely. But it said, and I quote, an independent forensic investigation by accounting firm KPMG had determined the most likely scenario that the tapes had been disposed of. End of quote. And of course, that quote ends that story. So let's move on to the next story. Amazon and Walmart may battle for India's Flipkart. Well, according to that story, Amazon is reportedly seeking to take a 60% take in India's market. Walmart has been expanding its online offering and is looking to gain a presence in India. Amazon's dueling bid was reported by CNBC TV18, the Indian affiliate of business news channel CNBC. The 3 companies have not commented on the report. Flipkart, which launched in 2007, won backing last year from big names in the technology industry, including Tencent and Microsoft. Their investments are valued, or the investment valued the company at more than $11 billion. And those are the 4 stories we have for you on the international business scene for today on TVN Business Time. Now, before we go into the stock market report, let's take a break. We're right back. Go away.
not to keep quiet on this matter. They are killing our people back home.
Welcome to the security matters and global strategic issues. The Oracle is host. The present is knowledge. The future possibility of mankind is how do we prophesy the things to come and the things to happen. That is what we tend to do and achieve in this engaging and profoundly illuminating show, The Oracle, on television Nigeria.
Not to keep quiet on this matter. They are killing our
Mr. Trump, please blow your trumpet.
I have so many friends going to your countries trying to get rich.
Hello viewers, welcome to The Oracle, live on television Nigeria.
The top trade 4.8 closed 191.5 to gain 9.55%. The next is Dangote Cement, opening trading with 246 naira, closing 247.9 to gain 1 point, about 0.77%. Presco was the third stable, opening at 69.3, closing at 70 to gain 0.7. That's a percentage of 1.01. UBN open trading 6 naira 25 kobo, close at 6 naira 5 kobo to win 0.25. That's a percentage of 4%. While UBA closed the gainer stable with a percentage gain of 1 naira 30 kobo, having opened 11 naira 55 to close at 11.7. Now let's take you to the top 5 decliners, those who lost as at close of business yesterday. Nestle was the top on the losers chart, losing minus 1.8%, having opened 1,599 and closing at 1,570. Of course, Dangote Flour was next on the losers table, opening 13.3, closing 12.05 to lose minus 9.4%. Now, Nigeria Breweries NB was the third to open 129.9, close 129 to lose 0.9. That's a percentage of minus 0.69. Cadbury also lost by closing on minus 4.71, having losers opening 20.5, closing 20 to lose minus 0.5. And those were the top decliners. And let's look at the top trades. As at close of business yesterday, the top 5 trades are UBA, Guarantee, Zenith, Fidelity Bank, and FCMB. And of course, you can see all of the statistics there for the top 5 trades as yesterday. So in case you're looking at investing, those are some of the companies you should look out for. Now let's look at the exchange rate before we go to the US and the Asian stock market. The exchange rate for today for the Naira, as it stands with 3 select currencies. And of course, as you can see, today is the 3rd, and the dollar starts at 360. That's the buying price, and it's selling for 362, almost the same thing like yesterday. The British pound is at 500, and of course selling at 505. Why the euro on the power market is like 436 naira. That's for the buying price, and the selling price is 442 naira. So now let's go to the Asia market report and tell you what's happening there as stocks closed from yesterday up to this morning. In Asia, the Nikkei 225 index closed on a negative note, losing minus 0.16. Nikkei 300 index also losing minus 0.25. The Hang Seng index minus 1.33, also losing. The FTSE Straits Times index also losing minus 1.49. The AXX All Ordinary index is on the positive note, winning plus 4.75%. plus 0.74% again. And the S&P/ASX Mid-Cap 500 Index in Asia also gained plus 1.18%, while the S&P/ASX 100 Index also in Asia gained 0.64%. Now, for the United States market, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, if you can see the US there, also lost minus 0.72. The Nasdaq Composite Index losing minus 0.42. S&P 500 Index also losing minus 0.72. Global Dow Real-Time USD that also gained yesterday. Up to this morning, the Global Dow Real-Time USD gained plus 0.03%. The Dow Jones Utility Average losing out or minus 0.23%. The New York Stock Exchange Composite Index also losing as at close of business yesterday. The New York Stock Exchange American Composite Index gained plus 0.85. The Russell 2000 Index also gaining plus 0.29. The PHLX Semiconductor Index lost out yesterday, of course, close trading losing minus 0.51, while the gold June 2018 gained plus 0.37. The CBOE 30-year Treasury bond also lost minus 0.06%, while the CBOE 10-year Treasury note also lost minus 0.40. And those are all the statistics you've got to know in terms of investing in the US or the Asian market today on TVN Business Time. And that will be it. But just before we go, let's take you back to the headlines that we have for the program now. Top on the list, PIB delay. That is at home right here in Nigeria. PIB delay threatens $8.4 billion annual oil investment. Bank of Industrials BOI gets fresh $305 billion to finance industrialists. And on the foreign scene, we told you that U.S. Federal Reserve keeps interest rates unchanged at 1.5 to 1.7 range. And Xiaomi launches $10 billion Hong Kong stock market listing. And that's it on the program for today. We thank you very much for being with us this morning. We'll bring you all of these details and, of course, the end of the stock market as the week closes by tomorrow. My name is Nten Ekpang. On behalf of everybody that made the program possible, thanks for watching and do enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.